And speaking of things to monitor, in Indonesia, that country has raised its alert status for the erupting volcano that caused a deadly tsunami over the weekend. The 16-foot ocean wave killed at least 430 people on the islands of Java and Sumatra. People along the coastline are being told to stay inland for fears of another tsunami. And now air travelers, too, are on alert. Elizabeth Palmer is in London monitoring the situation for us. Elizabeth, good morning.
Good morning. That's right. Aircraft are being rerouted around the volcano today, and so are boats, which aren't being allowed within 3 miles of the island that the volcano sits on. Anak Krakatoa's major eruption and the resulting tsunami took place on Saturday night, but it's only now that we're getting a really comprehensive picture of the damage. The destruction along Indonesia's coastline goes on for miles, where the tsunami smashed through homes, communities, and resorts. Phone video captured the moment it swept through a rock concert, killing all but one member of the band 17. Their stage later washed up on the beach. Police and rescue crews are still combing remote areas, helping to evacuate stranded residents. The disaster agency estimates that more than 20,000 people are now in shelters. As for the volcano Anak Krakatoa, it's been active on and off for weeks. It is still belching dust and smoke, so the sky around it is a no-fly zone. Indonesian authorities have also banned anyone from going within half a mile of the shore in case a fresh eruption causes another tsunami.
The government shutdown now in its 6th day, likely extending into the new year. The Senate meeting for just minutes today. President Trump returning from his surprise trip to Iraq, immediately jumping back into the battle over the border wall. The president and Democrats unwilling to budge, the standoff taking its toll on hundreds of thousands of federal workers wondering when their next paycheck will come. ABC senior congressional correspondent Mary Bruce is back on the Hill.
Tonight, Capitol Hill is a ghost town, day 6 of the government shutdown, and with no end in sight, 800,000 federal workers are now in limbo.
Who wants to go to work and not know if they're going to get paid or not?
With 2 kids in college, Department of Justice employee Tanya Villa says the uncertainty hits hard.
Tuition starts back up at the end of January for 2 children.
Anthony Bolden works at the USDA and is worried, too.
For me, it's just total uncertainty in terms of knowing how to budget for the upcoming months.
With negotiations at a standstill, both sides are digging in.
How long do you think the shutdown will last, Mr. President?
Whatever it takes. I mean, we're going to have a wall.
Back from Iraq, the president is back to battling with Democrats. Today, tweeting, have the Democrats finally realized that we desperately need border security and a wall on the southern border? Adding, without evidence, did the Dems realize that most of the people not getting paid are Democrats? The president is insisting on billions to fund his border wall, blaming the shutdown on, quote, Democrat obstruction.
They all know you need the wall or whatever you want to call it, but the one who's calling the shots is Nancy Pelosi.
The Democratic leader tells USA Today the president is using scare tactics to build support for his wall, and she's mocking him, saying now he's down to, I think, a beaded curtain or something. Pelosi is standing firm, promising to fund the government, but not the wall, when Democrats take control of the House next week.
So no end in sight, at least for right now. Mary Bruce joins us live from Capitol Hill. And Mary, it's looking like we won't see any progress towards a deal until at least next year.
Yeah, Tom, it is all quiet here on the Hill right now, and there are no more votes scheduled for this week. Now, once Democrats take control of the House, they're going to act quickly to try and put the pressure on the president by passing that legislation to fund the government, but not his wall. But, Tom, right now, this is a true stalemate, and neither side is budging. Tom?
Mary Bruce on day 6.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley. Dennis Bragg is off tonight. Kind of a frustrating day for a lot of people because western Montana among the areas impacted by a nationwide internet outage. CenturyLink says a major path issue is what has caused outages across Montana and several other states today. And it could still be 24 to 48 hours before this is resolved. The outages are impacting banks, stores, and local city government offices, pretty much any place that uses the internet for business. So you can imagine how hard this was felt today. Missoula Emergency Services Director Adrian Beck tells KPAX the 911 system is functioning, but dispatchers were unable to return calls to customers today. Verizon also suffering from internet outages, including in the Missoula, Helena, and Billings area, because it too uses CenturyLink to distribute the data. We'll try to get an update for you as we get more information about this, but understanding that a lot of people are pretty frustrated today.
A CenturyLink outage is impacting users across the country, leaving some unable to use the internet or dial 911. The outage began early yesterday morning. CenturyLink hasn't provided any details about the problem and hasn't indicated how many customers were impacted, but from New York to California, customers have reported outages. It even caused some to receive a busy signal while trying to call 911. The company tweeted it is still working to resolve the problem.
You can stay in Grandma's room. Come on, I'll show you what I want to do with it when she moves.
What is that? Do you know what that is? Have you ever seen anything like that?
No, that's the first time in my life.